So, what's it like staying in Pinetown?
It sucks, bro. I wish I lived in Hillcrest like you. Don't you have like a spare room or something?
No, it's not much greater than Pinetown, if you're being honest.
You sure?
Yeah, 100% sure.
I don't know. The mummies that drive around in the soccer mom vans, they seem pretty happy.
Isn't that truth? Apparently, we don't have any of that. We have none of that. What are the perks of staying this side?
Just being closer to everything.
Yeah, everything is super close.
Yeah, because when we lived in Gillets, I mean, Jess, she works for Mr. Price, and she had to travel almost like over an hour to get to work down to Durban.
Damn.
Yeah, and then for me, it's a lot easier to get to all of my clients. But
it's very easy.
A lot of people say it's crime town.
No, I mean, it is. I mean, if you live here, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
how bad is it?
It's not as bad as, it just depends where you live. Like, obviously, my area is a little bit out of the main city.
Yeah.
Or like the town or whatever it is. So, but you still got to be careful, bro. There's always people trying to take chances and.
Yeah, you can't risk it.
Yeah, lock up your stuff, bro. Chain it up, whatever.
But I think you're right when you say it's not that bad, though. Like, I work in Pinetown, bro, like just at the court here, and I've never had, probably been working there for the past like 7 years. I've never had a single incident. Even prior to that, when I was still studying, I used to take taxis, bro, and the route used to go past Pinetown. I used to take taxis in Pinetown at the taxi rank. Not once did I have any incident. That doesn't mean that, it's like the safest, though, but I don't think it's as bad as some people might make it. It always reminds me as well, like when I used to work at Musica long ago, bro. And
what, the one in Pavilion?
No, it was in Watercrest.
Oh, okay.
And people used to come there, and whenever we wouldn't have like a CD, say for example, the older crowd would ask for, one of the older guys' CDs. I can't even make an example right now, but like the classical stuff, and we'd be like, okay, we don't have it at this branch, but we have it at the Pinetown branch, and then they'd be like, oh fuck, no, I'm not going there. So it's like, oh shit, okay, that bad? That's absolutely crazy, bro. But it is close to everything for you, though. I mean, getting to gigs is not.
Yeah, I mean, I used to live. We used to live in Gillets.
Yeah.
We lived in G1, which is on the left-hand side of the M13 when you go up, and then it was too close to the main road for us, just for the sound and all that. So then we moved to like the G2 side, and we actually had more incidents up there.
Wow. Than here.
Than here. So our neighbors were getting broken, but it's all like petty crime. Steal a spade, take a this, take a that.
Yeah.
We had for the first 2 years that we lived here, there was a guy that lived in this area. We called him Sniper. I don't know. He might be from Wybank, but he used to break through the roofs.
What?
Yeah, so he wouldn't break through windows and stuff. He in this road alone, he broke into 4 houses in one night.
Bro. He must have been fucking brutal to be named Sniper, bro. I mean,
but he was tiny, dude. He was like this tiny, he was this tiny little guy.
Yeah.
Probably weighed like 40 kilos. He was climbing like PVC drain pipes and shit, bro.
Did you name him Sniper?
No. It was like it was his nickname. He's been in the area for quite some time, but they caught him and he's in prison at the moment.
Oh shit!
For now, until he comes back and he starts sniping again. That's
brutal, dude. I don't think many people know about your history in terms of bands. I mean, many of us might have only seen you in Imperious, bro. But there's a lot of history there. It's very rich as well. I mean, the Overmind, Conclave, Divine Affliction, all these bands, bro. And from what I understand, you used to be more guitar based.
Yeah. So the history of like just being involved with metal, like as not just as a musician, but obviously when I started listening to it, I was like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
The friends group I've known for like over 20 years, when a lot of them lived in South Africa, we all listened to that, and because I'm a little bit younger, I was influenced by them. So I got into like Korn, they called it the new wave of American metal, where like the terminology new metal came from.
Yeah.
So like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Korn, Slipknot. Same with like the older hard rock bands that were kind of existed, was like Mudvayne, and then moving forward from that was like getting into the 2000s, like 3 Days Grace, Creed, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There was MTV as well, so very influenced by like the new guys. That like there was a band called Spineshank, loved them, and I started when I turned 17. Decided I'm going to give it a shot. I want to try and make my own music.
Yeah.
But obviously got to learn the guitar. So I played like acoustic guitar just to get better at it. Then moved over to electric guitar, like about 3 or 4 years later, when like Bullet for My Valentine came out, As I Lay Dying, Killswitch Engage, like all the the old school metalcore bands, because that was like in my skill level. And shortly, I would say shortly, probably about a year or two after that, after I was confident enough that I could play with other people, I met this guy named Grant Scrooby. Shout out to Granty if you are watching the podcast, bro. So I've known him for a very long time. Yeah. And we started Conclave together.
Beautiful.
And we wrote an album, had a vocalist problem, never released the album. Then some of the members changed, so the vocalist changed, and the bassist changed, and Matt Allen, he became a, and unfortunately last year he passed away in a bike accident. He's very young. And then Wesley Price was actually my childhood friend. I'd known him since I was about 7 years old. He was the vocalist, and that was Divine Affliction, along with Robin Topping, who was the drummer, and obviously Grant and myself and guitar. And we played more like the Black Dahlia Murder-esque type stuff. And as we were talking about earlier, that was like when we played at like Live the Venue. Stellarwood Decapitation was around that time. Desolation, they don't exist anymore, but the drummer of that is Nick Fenter. He plays in Scath and the Wept.
Wasn't Chase in Desolation as well?
Yeah, dude, I think Chase has been in every band. I think he still is in every band, bro.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And I don't think people actually understand just how big some of the bands that you were in, actually were in Durban, man. That's like royalty. I mean, the Overmind, I was literally, I think, coming into the scene when you guys won your Durban Heats. It was one of the first times that the Wacken Heats was sort of, hosted
I think
here.
It was 2016.
Yeah, roundabout at the Winston, bro. I was literally there, man. Where are some of the guys from the Overmind now? I understand Votek is in
Votek went to Cape Town. Jethro moved to the UK.
Okay.
The original lineup was so Bryn actually played drums first.
Oh,
so,
what?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So Bryn was actually the original drummer. Yeah. So Votek after Divine Affliction, I didn't really want to be in bands anymore because we had the same problem where people moved on with life. Like Wesley left, he was concentrating on a family and he moved overseas.
Okay.
We wrote an album and we never released it. Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is like you lose the stems. You can't mix and master it, then you got to try and replicate it. And
it's essentially just a waste of time, basically.
Yeah, it just gets a little despondent because we spend a lot of time, especially back then, like we didn't have the money, so we're trying to like find places to record and track. So we spent a lot of money doing that and a lot of time writing the songs and all that kind of stuff, and it just basically goes out the window. So about a year or two later, this was just before the Overmind started.
Yes.
Jethro and Votek approached me at the Winston, actually. We were watching a band from Joburg, I think, and they said they wanted to start another band, and I was like, okay, give it a shot. Yeah. And myself and Jethro started writing, and we were talking about, like, what should we like call the band, what should we write about? And I was like, well, like the whole fucking evil thing, it's always been around, like, and it's been done to death. So I was like, let's do like, science fiction. Yeah. Let's do science fiction. Yeah. And the Overmind, obviously, is from StarCraft. So I kind of like based, when I was writing the lyrics and the music and all that, I based the content around that kind of thing.
Yes.
I created like our own characters for the stories and this and that. And I think it was very refreshing for people at the time. It was also around the time when we released the EP, which was called Dissolution. If you guys want to go, check it out. It's still on YouTube. It was Byron Dunwoody who obviously mixed and mastered Vulvadinia, which is why you'll hear the drums and most of the guitars sound the same. That he mixed and mastered it, and it was kind of released around about the same time that like Volvo's, when Byron was still writing for Volvo's content was being released. Yeah. So, and people were really like climbing on board with that whole like new era of like deathcore slam, that like slam orientation. Yeah. And we had like a few elements of that, but it was more like deathcore. There's some death metal elements and stuff. And but I was adamant that I wanted to release the tracks first before we played any shows.
Yeah.
And we did, and it actually helped us a lot, you know, like with people coming to watch the shows, being more exposed. We were getting a lot more offers to go play Joburg and Cape Town and festivals and stuff. So we wrote an album within the next year. So it was like we released, I think it was 2015, we released Dissolution. And then in 2016, we released, damn, I can't remember what my own band's album name was. Anyway, it's on...
It is available online.
Yeah, it is available online, yeah. That album was a huge success. It also wasn't severely up to standard like for international acts, but it was getting there. And we also had like the vocalist from Gravemind. We had probably 3 or 4 guest vocalists on that album. Yeah. And that also obviously helped to raise awareness. We released it on Slam Worldwide, which if any of your local bands, your metal band, and you want to release shit, do it on there, because
best place to do it.
Yeah. Definitely helps.
After the Overmind, I understand that you took a bit of a break. Yeah. Why?
It was just to focus on my company. So life was changing, people were moving on and whatnot, and still love the music, still listen to music to this day. Obviously still am part of a band and love to write the content and record and stuff. I just needed to focus on my company, which I did, and it's been successful for 10 years, so I'm quite grateful for that. In terms of the vocal side of things, 2019 I started to like mess around, learning techniques, learning from YouTube. Never really got much help from the Melissa Cross thing. It was more like Spencer Sotelo from Periphery, Andy Cizek from Monuments. Who else? I mean, obviously there's always the greats like Phil Bozeman, Alex Terrible. I think had started coming up then as well, but he wasn't doing any like vocal tutorials. But there's a lot of guys who were, on the side. YouTube was starting to like build into that platform, so I learned from that. And then obviously 2020 we hit the great stop, and Nathan took over from Grant, who was on bass in the Overmind. So Nathan is also in Imperious Vision. He messaged me, or I messaged him, and I was like, yeah man, I was like, do you want to just make music? I was like, we got nothing better to do except make pineapple beer and make metal beer, so let's just do it. And it was fun, man. That project is called Soul Shock. It's also available on YouTube. It's just us releasing tracks. Mike from YCS featured on one, and I was going to make that like a collaboration project. So it was going to be obviously myself and Nate, and then we're going to get like people, Rudy Gravenstein to on the next track that we were going to release, which
like an online type vibe.
But just like it's like a project for everybody to collaborate on, because it's actually always been my passion is to like have multiple artists collaborate. Have you ever listened to the Roadrunner United album?
No, not yet. No,
dude, do yourself a favor. It's every single artist from Roadrunner United with 4 team captains. And it's basically, it's got Howard Jones, the people from Cold Chamber, the guys from Typo Negative. It had Joey Jordison, dude, I promise you need to.
It's like a nice collaborative.
It's got, and it's got the most like wide array of tracks. And there's something for everyone, but that's kind of the thing that inspired me to like have the collaboration. So,
that's beautiful. Why did that stop? I mean,
it only stopped because I joined Imperious. There are more tracks that are written for it. And that was one of the reasons why Brennan and Nate asked me to come in. It's just because they wanted somebody who could just come in and just do the thing, and like just get up, like do the vocals, write the lyrics, add to the music. Because for me, that's the largest thing about collaboration is if you're not adding to a track and you are just doing what you're doing without having that like not the knowledge, but having that confidence to say I actually did add to it, then there's not much point in adding a vocalist or like an extra guitarist or anything like that, unless it truly adds to the whole of the music. And I think the guys are happy so far with the performances, like obviously live, which I had never done before either, but I'm enjoying that very much now. And I'm also enjoying like writing again and like having that collaborative passion, you know, for the music. So
we don't want to be victims of nostalgia here, but I want to get sort of like an objective perspective from you in terms of, you know, where metal was back around 2016 backwards versus now. How do you feel, you know, where do you think we're at right now?
Oh, it's cool because I mean, I've even before then I was like obviously attending shows. So it was even back in the 2000s, like 2003, 2004. Shouldn't have been going to Durban and those places, but you know, need to watch the bands, man. And I mean, I was watching bands back then like The Narrow, Pestroy.
I love Pestroy.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Yeah.
That's
saw them. I actually got to see them live before they sort of called it quits. Ramfest, I think it was Ramfest 2013 or 2014, if not mistaken, at Wave House when Ramfest was still coming down here.
Dude,
yeah, they played. There was also the what's that punk band? They were a punk band. They were from Durban, bro.
Go Bronco.
No.
Low profile.
Low profile was there. Low profile was there.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I was talking to somebody about Wiggy the other day.
Yeah.
And
is he in Cape Town?
Yeah, he's moved to Cape
and he's doing like videography and stuff.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Bro.
Super cool guy, bro.
I love what he's doing. Low profile. After that show, I was literally just obsessed because that was sort of my introduction to sort of that sort of scene. Because after like Pestroy and seeing Low Profile as well, I was heavy into like their music online, which makes me sad because some like Pestroy albums aren't even online anymore. Like it's very difficult to find them.
Yeah,
which is really sad.
They should I'm not sure if anybody in Pestroy like watches this, but you should like really get your shit on Spotify.
Yeah, please. Dude.
Yeah, so that people can listen.
They actually do have. I think it's like one album though, which is sad because their discography, like the entire thing, is fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude. I mean that track that was on MK Ondergrond, bro. It was like, say what you wanted to say it. Love that, bro.
Classics there. They even had a track with there's a lady, I think she's out in Cape Town, I think her name is Inge. Period. It was one of my favorites on one of their albums. So just so much history and it's absolutely beautiful. But sorry man, I took you off track there.
No, it's cool, bro. Yeah. I love this.
Yeah, so you were still saying, bro, you had a chance to see all of that leading up to 2016 and prior to that. So would you say that metal is in a better space right now, or would you say it's sort of degraded over time?
No, I don't think there's like degradation or anything. It's just changed. Like the whole, even just music, like everything in terms of like content creation, like whether it's music or art or anything, everything's just changed to more like a more, how can I say it, like digitized format. Okay. So it's a lot more accessible. Like there's far more content now because you can literally like record at home, you know, and you can mix and master at home now, whereas you know back then people were still like using analog amps and using mics and you know and tracking on like not so powerful PCs, and sometimes you were still using old school tape drives and but then the metal scene I still think like was different, but there was far more. I felt like there was far more attendance for a very long period of time. Yeah, like for like in the 2000s till probably about 2014, 2015. Okay. Yeah, and then I think maybe even before then it started to fall off a little bit because I think you get a generation change of people, what they listen to, what's trending overseas. You know, the internet changes people's minds. So. And then obviously we hit COVID and everybody was bummed because you can't go to shows, you can't play shows. And even after that, I mean, you must have noticed it took like 2 or 3 years to come back, like 2023 or so. Yeah. And now it's just different, bro. I'm still stoked that people are just coming to shows and playing shows. That's the most, and also, just a wide variety of ages, like even ethnicities now. Like I see a lot more people who
of color,
like being like attending shows and stuff, and it's so refreshing to see because like I personally think that music is a journey, or like art, any art form, it's like a journey. It's what you create is happens as you live your life and your perspectives change and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens when you get those ups and downs for, you know, the attendance of shows and what people like and what they don't like. And also another, you know, it's like kind of a taboo subject, which is genres in metal, like where you have like the black metal people, and then you got the deathcore kids, and then the metalcore kids, and this one. I think it's those boundaries are starting to slowly just like amalgamate. Lots of bands like, you know, like Lorna Shore, Shadow of Intent, they're starting to like blur those lines of generalization and stuff, which is cool because people now can go to a show and they're not going to be like, this did happen back in the day where people would just watch a band and then be like, oh, I don't like that band, and then walk outside. Whereas now people just stay and Joel, bro, they'll watch the bands and have a good time. There's no generalization or boundaries, and that, for me, that's especially in metal, it's the same kind of collaborative like connection that I have. It's cool, you know what I mean?
There's been a lot of sort of focus on AI within the scene recently. Like a lot of things have been happening. I don't know if you're aware of the recent thing that happened with a couple of it was one designer, I think it is, who basically did some work for, I think, Metal for Africa, if I'm not mistaken, and there were allegations being thrown around online that he was using AI, and people, namely Kavesh, I think Mike was also involved in that, you know, Marcel as well. They did like an investigation type thing. Mostly Kavesh came through with like receipts and stuff where, you know, this guy was being called out for the AI stuff, things that are happening like in the scene. It was a whole big thing, bro. I want to get your perspective on like just the use of AI within the scene, because it's generally like when we talk AI, it's usually something that seems like, okay, it's here, but also it's never really as prominent within the scene. It's often just about, you know, maybe, you know, GPUs, you know, the price of GPUs going up and all these servers and all that there.
Well, I'm not sure. Did you see what the Google CEO did? He was like, oh, by the way, we've just developed a new AI architecture that reduces the RAM usage by like 6 times less. So apparently the chip prices should come down.
Should be a lot cheaper now,
but they won't. You know what they like? They like money, bro.
Definitely.
For me personally, like AI has its uses in, especially with the business that I work in technology. So to help people be more efficient within their roles, it's great, because the thing is it reduces the amount of time that you need to do like menial tasks. Okay. In terms of creation, like for art, it's supposed to be human, right? You know, like even if it's electronic music, the music is electronic, but the people that create it, so there's the creator and then there's the consumer. Those are human. And for me, if you're gonna be utilizing AI to create art, then you're not creating it for a human consumer. You're creating it to make your life easier, or to interpret something a lot easier so you can sell it as a product. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's all it is. For me, the hard work and like the journey of creating content is what the art is. If you think about it. So AI has its use. I think for business, it's great. I think it needs to stay away from like the art side of things. Like, I mean, have you seen Suno, like the Suno era? I mean, there's literal people on Spotify. Well, not even people. They AI artists. They created entire personas, tracks. They have tens of millions of listens, on a monthly basis. And they don't exist.
Sure.
So somebody's making money off that, and they don't exist. And it's a big deal, because the thing is that what is real then, what becomes real on an online platform. And the artists then who actually do the hard work and have the talent and play the music live and tour and like believe in their craft, they post their stuff on the platform and they aren't remunerated, which if you're a touring musician or an artist of some kind, it's necessary. You know, money is everybody's god. So
Yeah, definitely, bro. So you don't feel that like as like in business, for example, it has its uses. For example, you know, it saves quite a bit of time and eliminates having to do all these tasks. Is there no like art sort of version of that? Because what I remember is that this dude here, once all the receipts were out, was saying that okay, he admits that he uses AI, but it's more of like a tool for him that he uses to sort of like, you know, I don't know if he said to like straighten out lines or like, you know, he uses it in conjunction with, you know, his process and so on.
Okay, well,
how far do we take it?
It's very difficult because I think it's not like it's an illegal thing. I think it's just more
Transparency, just being like, yo,
even transparency. I mean, you can see when something's AI. We've all been. You can see it. It's not like it's oh, I can't believe this is AI. The reason why obviously the Metal for Africa thing happened is because somebody was like, that's AI.
Yeah.
And if people want to use it, it's fine. But then yet again, I think it's just up to each individual human being to make their own decision as to whether it should be like a viable thing to use or not. Yeah. I think if you're using it to be more efficient in whatever profession you're on, it's great. I mean, it's great for heavy machinery, it's great for robotics, it's great for automation, which, you know, it's great for like safety within, you know, for people who work in large industries, mining industries. So it has its benefits. In art, yet again, if you're gonna do the hard work and then you're gonna do like 60% of the work, and then you're gonna let AI do the rest of it, what was the point in doing it in the first place? And I think for me, the creation side of things, the hard work is the journey, bro, in any art form.
You said that we can see when something's AI. Do you think we at a point now where we can also pick up AI in audio, say for example, or maybe even in lyrics, you know, because there's also allegations going around almost every day now about, you know, certain artists within the scene that we're in, bro, and always be like, nah, that dude's definitely used AI to make this. For you as a vocalist, is that something you can actually pick up on quite easily?
You can hear, like, especially with harsh vocals when it's AI, like there's something very raw about like just any harsh vocal that you'll know it's AI, or if they've added auto tune to it, because a lot of people do use auto tune layers in their harsh vocals. Obviously the clean vocals as well, and I mean even the drumming, even the drumming or the guitar riffs, that kind of stuff, you can pick it up. Like if you well, I don't think everyone can pick it up, but if you play music and you listen to a track, it's easy to pick up on. Yeah. Because there's when you learn to play an instrument, or you learn to sing or whatever it is, there's like phonetic cues, like you know when something comes in or when something stops, or like where a hi-hat goes or like a blast beat goes. AI, it's very good, but it doesn't have that human phoneticness. Like it's the rhythm's not there. You know what I mean? So it just depends.
Makes absolute sense, bro. You guys obviously won your Durban heat, so you're going to be headed to, I suppose, Joburg for the Wacken Metal Battle finals. Congratulations. Thanks, I was there for that one, and you guys were absolutely insane. I absolutely enjoyed. I feel like it was your best performance. We even had a conversation after that, and I was like, man, you know, the energy and everything. How did you prepare for that, bro?
You know, I just don't look at the performances, like especially like for the Wacken battle. I didn't look at it as like a competition, because I'm not a really competitive human being.
Yes.
I find like, especially with something like music, if I find it fun, then I will continue to do it, you know. And all I wanted to do really was to have fun that night, bro. I mean, we obviously practiced. We practice every Thursday. The guys in Imperious are very tight musicians. They've been playing for like 7 or 8 years together now. So they're all very good musicians. Like, I mean, Bryn's a fantastic drummer. Blake's a fantastic lead guitarist. Kai is a fantastic guitarist just in general. And so is Nathan. I mean, Nathan, even though he plays bass, he is an amazing guitarist, bro. He's very good. And it's nice to have that, like, those guys on stage. You know, because I mean, they just bang out the tracks every single time. It's always just on point. It's nice to have it. Nice to have fun on stage, bro.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful, bro. And obviously, I do know that you guys have an album that's coming up. Tell me a bit more about that. You know, how much of, you know, how involved are you in, say, maybe the songwriting and, you know, a bit beyond just the vocals and so on? Tell me about the album in general.
Okay, well, look, the album art is done. The album's name is Attrition. There is a track called Attrition that we do play live, and it is on the title track of the album.
What does that mean?
Attrition is just like it's in a war of attrition. It's like an endless war. Basically, it's just.
Did Bryn come up with it?
Yes, definitely.
I knew it. It's such a Bryn thing, dude.
Oh yeah. That's look. The guys wrote everything in terms of the instrumentals. When I first came in, my job was just to track, get the vocals down, and maybe play shows. Then I've written, I think, about 4 tracks worth of the lyrics, and it fits very well, and they're very happy with it. So pretty stoked.
That's the most important thing. And when is it coming out, bro? Do you have any dates for us?
No, not yet, unfortunately. It's with the work life and stuff, and obviously we're not a professional band. Nathan is doing the mixing and mastering, so we have one track which Mark featured on called Disgraced. We're going to release that first. It's just like a definite banger track, and showcases obviously Mark and my vocals collaborative on the track, so it's nice, man. And we'll definitely release it sometime, but no definite date yet.
How is it working with Mike?
Oh no, it's cool. I mean, I've known Mike since he was a baby. I've known him since he was like, the first time I met him, I think he was like 17 or 18. I can't remember, but it was like I met him at YCS's first show. I might have met him beforehand because his wife Michelle was very good friends with the bassist that played in Conclave. His name was Andrew Topping.
Okay.
So they knew each other, and I've known her since she was 15, like when she was at school and stuff. So
nice, man.
Yeah.
So you knew Mike back when like Luke was even still in there.
Yeah, dude. And also there was the other guitarist was Matt. I'm not sure if you remember. He was a taller.
Yes.
So it was him. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's ages ago. Bro.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
A very long time ago.
Also, kudos to Mike, bro, because I mean, like, he's just gone like through strength to strength. I mean, even when I wasn't playing in bands and I was watching him, like with the multiple member changes, it's just he's always been like that goat, of the Durban metal scene. Everybody, if you're from Durban and you go to shows, YCS is going to be playing, bro.
As a vocalist, bro. Mike often gets a lot of shouts for being the best. It's him and Dwayne all the time. They're always in like the conversations of being the best. We'll say in South Africa, but then essentially that could even mean in Africa then. From a vocalist perspective, who would you put above?
I think they're just different. Like they both have that energy, bro. It's just like they both go all out on stage. Like Mark is more like the false chord, like that deathcore vocal, and then Dwayne's got like his fries and stuff. I think he might do 1 or 2 false chords as well, but the music is so different. I don't think it's either one of them is better. They just both fit into their bands like really well.
Okay, it's a tie.
They're both great oaks.
They're both really brilliant guys. Okay, sweet, bro. So what else do you guys have sort of planned? I know that you guys are going to be going up to Joburg for Wacken.
I don't really have too much say in when we do things. Like I basically walked in and I was the vocalist. But I think that there might be something happening on the 30th of April. I think Mark and Bryn are working on that.
Okay.
Not 100% sure yet. But yeah, other than that, it's just basically trying to get the album sorted, and we're going to come up and fucking smash Sonnage, bro.
Nice, bro.
Hope you oaks are ready to headbang, bro, because I'm going to bring it.
What do you guys have prepared for them?
Obviously the set list is quite short. It's the same set we played in Durban. Nobody from Joburg was there, so you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
But you were there.
Yeah.
So that's that same set.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
It's going to bang.
They're in for a treat, bro. As I say, that was my favorite performance of you guys, like
thanks,
ever, bro. Like the energy, it's unmatched, bro.
I think everybody was just ready to go, right?
Yeah.
As well. Like the crowd was like properly ready, eh?
I don't think I've ever seen Westville Warehouse go that hard, actually.
Yeah, no,
When you guys went on, it was absolutely
It
insane.
was sick, dude. I love it.
Yeah, it's well deserved as well, bro. Deven, dude, I want to thank you for
Yeah, and thank you,
joining
man.
me,
Thanks for making the effort to come.
Yeah, thank you for just agreeing to get on this and for us to have this conversation. If people want to reach out to you and maybe work with you in some capacity, how do we go about doing that?
I do have a Facebook account, so I mean, you can find me on there. I'm not very active on social media because I just don't like it. But if you want to send me a Facebook message, go ahead. I mean, I'm always keen to do like, collaborations with like any types of music. I can do harsh vocals. I sing as well. So if you want me to do some clean vocals, I can do that. Or I can play some guitar on your tracks. Just love to collaborate and make music, man.
Absolutely beautiful. And if you're watching this at home, thank you for tuning in. Everything is going to be available on our website, sludgeunderground.com. And if you want to find me, it's at sludge, or rather at Zwane01 on social media platforms. And for Sludge Underground, it's at Sludge Underground. It's that simple. So thank you for tuning into this episode. It's been Dev and I, and we are signing out. Peace.